Okay, in this video, we're going to be going over the inflation that's happening in the economy right now and which types of inflation are going to be permanent and which types of inflation are going to get back to normal. So we're going to look at a few different charts here, and I'm going to explain to you what's going on. So as we can see in this article, it says inflation speeds up in April as consumer prices leap 4.2%, the fastest in 2008. Okay, so the reason this is happening is because when the pandemic hit, everything stopped being produced. And so now that things are opening back up, the demand is very high, but the supply for things is very low. So that's why we see all these commodities and materials skyrocketing in price. And that's why the way to fix this is to have people get back to work and start producing things so that there's not all these shortages. But the problem is that since we're giving out lots of stimulus checks and a lot of different states are so eager to give out unemployment benefits, there's still a lot of people that are sitting at home collecting unemployment. And although it's getting better, the unemployment's going down, but the lower we get unemployment, the faster this problem will be solved. So first one we're going to look at here is lumber. And this is one of the worst cases because as you can see from in 2020, before the pandemic, it was trading around the $400 range. Okay. Now lumber is up to over $1,200. So that's one of the worst cases. And that's why you see the price of building homes skyrocketing as well. Now, the next one is copper. And same thing with copper, we can see that it has not been this high since 2011. Okay. So it's been at least 10 years since copper has been this expensive. And over the past year, you can see how much it shot up. A little over a year ago, it was in the $2.50 range, and now it is almost $5. So that's for the commodities. Now, what's the other thing that's been skyrocketing? The stock market. Okay. The NASDAQ averages 10% a year. Okay. And over the past year, we've seen the NASDAQ increase by over 40%. So you have to ask yourself, is this a bubble? Does it deserve a correction? And is it going to crash soon? So next thing we're going to look at is the median sales price of houses sold in the United States. As you can see with this, ever since the housing crisis of 2008, the prices slowly started recovering and have been going up. But lately, I mean, you can see right now that we're at all-time highs, and right now it's at the average price is $347,000. So prices of new houses are incredibly expensive now, especially because of lumber prices increasing. Then one of the worst things that's happening right now is the chip shortage, because the chips made by all these companies like Intel and AMD and Nvidia, those are in so many different products that it's not only hurting the business's profits, but it's also hurting the supply, and they can't make new products anymore. So Ford is halting the production of several of their vehicles due to the chip shortage. And we've seen other robotic companies. I mean, companies that make refrigerators, all these different products that depend on these semiconductor chips cannot be made. They can't keep up with the demand now because there's not enough chips out there. So once again, the answer to this is people need to get back to work. Then we can also see this is my main point here. The inflation that's happening with the commodities and the stock market, that can be reversed. Okay, once people get back to work and production goes up, there will be more supply and it'll be able to meet the demand. Okay, so that will be fixed. But what's not going to get reversed is the over $3 trillion that the Fed printed out in 2020. So as we can see here, it says $3.38 trillion equates to about 18% of the total supply of dollars. So about 1 in 5 US dollars were created in 2020. So that just shows you that is not going to be able to be reversed. And that will be a permanent sign of inflation. So, I mean, we might see, especially with things like gas prices and stuff, some of this will go back down and it will be reversed, but there will still be a degree of inflation that's not going away. And that's also why we see companies raising their prices, and they're also raising wages. Okay, so we've seen McDonald's, Chipotle, Under Armour, all these companies are raising wages, which is a good thing because people need to get back to work. So that's the bottom line is we're going to have some inflation will be reversed, but half of it will still be permanent. And then to fix this supply and demand problem, people need to get off the unemployment and need to get back to work. And that's how you fix the issue.